Welcome into another episode of the News4JAGs podcast. Jamal St here alongside Justin Barney. Justin, OTAs officially in the books for the Jaguars. Next stop is mandatory minicamp next week.
Yeah, June 10th, 11th to 12th. The 11th, open to fans, so they get a chance to see the fans right before, fans will get a chance to see the Jags right before we go into the kind of hibernation for just about 4 weeks. But I like your shirt.
Yeah, look, we're in sync.
Coordinated.
We didn't even have to get through the whole off season, and we started matching. All right, so last OTA completely wrapped up. We heard from Liam Cohen talked after practice. Brian Thomas talked. You talked to Hunter Long.
Yep.
I talked to Tank Bigsby. Alessandro talked to Jack Kaiser. So we got a lot of coverage. You can track all those down over on News4JAGs.com. Hunter Long.
Yeah, very interesting fellow. So, we talked about him, he and Johnny Munt and the free agents back in free agency. Seems like it was 10 years ago.
It does.
And, he very interesting guy. So I asked him about, he was from New Hampshire, Maine, somewhere in that area. Played high school football up in Massachusetts. I can't remember where he went. And then went to Boston College and then was drafted by the Dolphins. Shipped out to the Rams for Jalen Ramsey. They intersected there with James Gladstone and Liam Cohen out there in Los Angeles, and then now he's back here. Interesting thing he said, what was not to like about coming to Jacksonville? New coaching staff, plenty of opportunities, back in Florida, which he loves the weather down here, and guys he knows well in terms of Cohen and Gladstone. Had really good stuff to say about him. Interesting tidbit, he did say that Liam Cohen, when he was the head coach at Maine, when he was coaching at Maine, he actually recruited Hunter Long out of high school to try and come play for him. So
I feel like Maine was a little out of the clag. I mean, Hunter Long went to Boston College.
Yes.
Like I don't generally say like, and this isn't a shot at Maine, but they're not in this. You do swing for the fences.
You got to swing for the fences.
Okay, so I talked to Tank. Here, Alessandro will absolutely love this. I talked to Tank about some of his off-season work. He said he loves Pilates. And he added hot yoga to his routine this offseason. And he said, hot yoga's hard. He said, that's hard now.
Alessandro's ears are burning right now. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she's going to probably run over here. So.
But yeah, Tank looks ready. He said he's really excited. I asked him if the run schemes were different at all, and you can kind of see his face light up. He said it's some of the same, but he said it's really cool to see how Coach Cohen designs. He said he still has to kind of finish learning everything. But he said no, it's different. He says it's the way he sets the stuff up.
Interesting.
That he really likes. So Tank, part of that kind of running back rotation, and a guy that's competing for snaps. I mean, nothing's promised.
That's right.
This go around.
Bashal Tutin is in the mix. I mean, LaQuint Allen, day 3 draft pick. Tank is there. Travis is there. So you've got a lot of guys in that position. And seeing what we've seen so far, again, limited, a lot of these reps against air, loose coverage, although there was some good 7-on today toward in the end zone where some throws were made, plays were made by both defensive guys and offensive guys, but things aren't really going to crank up until we can start really kind of putting our teeth into the fully padded practices.
Yeah, and that's even what Tank said. Tank said, I asked him if he was ready for training camp. He was like, no. He said, but I am ready to put the pads on because he doesn't, this short stuff, especially for a running back that runs like him. Okay, so I do have to, we talked about our 53-man roster on here. Justin has a 2-spot lead on me at this point because I'm on board for Eli Pancol now. He made a nice diving catch, and Cooper Hodges got cut, so I had Cooper making the 50. I
was feet away from Jamal, and Eli Pancol had a diving grab over the middle, falls down, holds on to it. I said, Jamal, and Jamal said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. Tell you, Cooper Hodges cut yesterday, and his issue was just
couldn't stay healthy.
Being injured.
It was a failed physical waiver, so still not healthy. But Eli Pancol, definitely a guy who's stolen the show just a little bit so far through camp. Another guy who, we're not supposed to talk about the teams or the reps that guys are taking with as far as early depth chart because it doesn't necessarily matter now. But LaQuint Allen was a guy who was getting some meaningful reps throughout this final OTA, which is interesting because most of the rookies, they've buried them on the depth chart, and he's a guy who's found a way to get some of those meaningful reps with some of the earlier rotation players.
And it's a spot. I mean, there's so few running back positions, and Liam is going to lean on his top 2 guys, but I do think there are reps there for Bashal Tutin or LaQuint Allen. I think both those guys both draft picks make the roster. Keelan Robinson also cut yesterday as well. So Jacksonville moving on, continues to kind of purge the last regime's draft class. I mean,
completely.
Keelan Robinson was a pick last year who barely got on the
class,
field.
The free agent class, they basically said, and look, I don't know what this guy was doing. Get him out of here. Let's start from scratch. Okay.
Hey, and I appreciate that because, you hold on to this, and I thought, I was completely wrong on Zay Jones, them holding on to him for the salary cap reasons. James Gladstone says, hey, he said, F them picks. F that dead cap space. He's just getting it out of here, and they're one of the top 3 teams in the league in terms of dead salary. But hey, I appreciate them addressing a mistake, saying, hey, it's a sunk cost at this point, and moving on. I think a lot of teams hold on to those guys just for reasons. And I mentioned you during practice today that this roster is a massive overturn. Massive overturn from how it was even at the end of last year. Crazy.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Quick question. Travis Hunter was back on offense. 3-day minicamp next week. Do you think we see Travis on defense any of the days?
I'm going to say one of those.
One day? All right.
We have yet to see him on defense.
We have yet to see him on defense.
So
I'm with you.
He
maybe
made the
one
social
day.
pick. The social pick yesterday was fantastic.
I think he dropped it.
We'll throw the challenge flag on it.
I think.
Come on, made a great.
But either way, okay. So I think we're in agreement. Hopefully, one day next week out of the 3-day mandatory minicamp. We'll see what happens. So fans can go out to the Wednesday minicamp practice. You can sign up for those tickets. We do have the link on News4JAGs.com. You can also find it on Jaguars.com. So you can sign up for those tickets. They typically do book up fast. It's not sold out as we record this now, but it will be probably before Wednesday, and that'll be your last chance to see these guys before midway through training.
One Travis Hunter thing. While they were in there, I was in there. Kyle and I were in there looking at Travis Hunter stuff, and I don't know how tall those blocking dummies are. The blue dummies, probably 5.5, 6 feet tall. So Travis Hunter jumped over them twice.
Really?
Jumped completely over him. So it's like jumping, running at the camera. It's like a high jump, just straight high jump. He just jumped straight over him. So kind of reminds me of the Saquon Barkley cover. Because it was like that.
We don't talk about that, Justin.
It reminded me of that because it was just a complete spring jump over one of those idle dummies, and they're probably 5.5 feet tall. So pretty darn good athleticism for Travis.
The Saquon Barkley cover obviously is mimicking Jarian Jones. Travis Hunter made the Madden trailer. Madden also announced he'd be able to play on both sides of the football. So there's something there. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that as the ratings start rolling out for Madden and NCAA college football. We'll track down our local guys
I'm liking it. Good time.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming this summer. We'll have some of these coming your way next week. Mandatory minicamp again, 3 days. So we'll be out here all next week. You can always check that stuff out over on News4JAGs.com or look for Sports for Jacks on Instagram. A lot of good stuff there. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next time.